The true story behind the infamous Ontario Cat Lady House is impossible to validate. Lines blur between fact and fiction. The small amount of evidence-based information leaves many questions unanswered and plenty of room for imagination. However, I've done my best to cover the facts regarding one of the most unique abandoned homes I've ever explored. European immigrant Laura Noak and her Canadian husband, Guy Irving Sullivan Miller, had their first daughter in 1910. She was born in Quebec, and they named her Flora Fern Noak Miller. Flora would move to Ontario in the 1930s and marry Simon Ernest McCullough, raising two daughters of their own. After retirement, the pair moved to a rural property in Burlington and built their dream home. Shortly after, they started a hobby farm called Ferndale Farms, where they raised livestock, boarded horses, and occasionally held yard sales on the property. The front yard featured a small orchard with apple and pear trees lining the driveway, and the property featured a pond and stream that were partially protected by the Halton Conservation Authority. The property attracted various rare species of bird, including the pine grosbeak, which was featured in 2 editions of Toronto Birds Journal. It's unclear when Ernest McCullough passed, but it is clear that Fern continued to live in the marital home as a widow afterwards, filling her time with artistic endeavors featuring her favorite subjects, cats and plants. Her hobbies and interests were obvious throughout the home. Fern McCullough was a woman with a passion for bright colors and bold patterns, not just for her wallpaper, but her wardrobe as well. She loved plants and decorated her home with hundreds of fake flowers and foliage. She was an avid reader, collected Disney VHS tapes, and loved to attend garage sales and thrift stores. Dozens of items with the price tags still on could be found sprawled across the main floor. Last but not least, she loved cats. Not a single room was without a cat-themed item. Cat books, cat photos, cat paintings, cat calendars, cat purses, even a dead cat? Trigger warning, even though I don't actually think this is a cat. Despite popular belief, Fern did not die in the home. Her final days were spent at the Trillium Health Hospital in Mississauga. She passed away October 30th, 1999, at the age of 89 years old. It appears as though a relative, possibly a grandchild, lived in the home for several years afterwards. A letter addressed to the estate of Fern McCullough to a home in a different city, vet records, and cremation reports from 2002 were found in the kitchen, alongside handwritten notes and letters for Dad. An email printout from 2002 seems to suggest the reason the property was left in limbo was due to a will dispute between Fern's children and Halton Conservation. Halton Conservation and the city of Burlington maintained the property by cutting the grass and plowing the driveway for years, but left the home to the elements. Nature wasn't kind either. The home suffered water damage and had several ceilings collapse. The property was added to an abandoned location website in 2012, not taking long to draw curious explorers from across the province. The address was publicly leaked in a YouTube video comment section, and within weeks, the building saw major vandalism. Items were stolen, ceramics were shattered, the windows were smashed, graffiti littered the walls. By 2015, the location was almost unrecognizable. The house was the victim of arson around midnight on February 1st, 2016. The fire quickly engulfed the whole building, and due to the distance between the house and a fire hydrant, water had to be trucked in by tanker. The building was a complete loss, and shortly after, what little remained of the structure was demolished. Nobody was charged in this case. In 2016, the property was formally registered to Halton Conservation. They proposed a brand new building, barn, and an upgraded septic system to the property. The plans were approved, and according to Google Street View, construction is well on its way, with major terraforming of the property. The legacy of Fern McCullough and her Cat Lady Castle is no more.